and I was going to talk about the Maritini. But I'm going to, let's just go Maritini because she just did it. Okay, yes. We're doing it. If these walls could talk, they'd order a martini, where experiences are shaken, not staged.
Today's called Calm Before the Conference.
Yes.
Tell me, what's today's martini of the episode?
Well, I love that you named it the Moat. That is my favorite thing. So that's new and fresh for our listeners. The Moat, which is what?
The martini of the episode.
Yeah, I love that.
It's just such a clean abbreviation. I love it.
So you know how we ask our listeners to send in a martini that they want to have us try. Mm-hmm. And even we have this listener who wanted us to name it. So we want to give a shout out to Mara Brazzini and say thank you for being interactive with us here at MICC. So today's martini of the episode is a Maritini. And the ingredients that I have right here are lavender, pear, and vodka. So cheers to the Maritini.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm. Again, virgin Maritini for Aiden.
Yes.
So yeah, we've got some things. It's called Calm Before the Conference. And I want to say to our listeners that we are getting ready to embark on. I actually am headed to Maui to stay at the Grand Wailea for a large conference that we have of about 450 people. It's like an educational incentive with a little bit of a wellness focus. Mm-hmm. It's like the CEOs, boards, and spouses. You know, we basically have a full week of golf tournaments, incredible speakers, tours, excursions, dinners, luau's, you name it, with always a twist on everything that we do, right? So that's coming up. So we're going to have to take care of ourselves because when you go to Maui, you also want to have some wellness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about wellness. I think you mentioned there are some new vitamin B shots.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Okay, so when you go to a conference, and all of our conference friends out there can appreciate this. You show up to the conference, you register. There are a lot of different ways to register now, whether it's, paperless, whether it's actually that personal interaction. We again choose to do the personal interaction. So with this registration, we have brought in vitamin B shots because, Hawaii is further away for our East Coast friends. So some people are on a 6-hour time difference. So when they show up and it might be 6:00 for dinner, it's actually they're eating at midnight.
Yeah.
Right? So we have brought in vitamin B shots. We also have this wonderful gifting suite that we have where they can choose what makes them feel better, whether it's, eye pillows, whether it's eye patches under your eyes, whether it's the vitamin Bs, whether it's an energy drink, whatever that might be that they need to take care of themselves. But the other piece of this is, again, we want to have that interaction, right? So if you're coming 100%. In and you are like, it's paperless, which I totally get, that's fine. But how about, hey, Courtney, hey, Linda, hey, Stacy, who will be traveling with us on this event. We are so happy to see you. It's, how's your family? Again, it's that touch point, right?
I like that.
That also makes you feel better.
Yeah, and personal connection.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It is. So that's a little bit about what we have going on and the trends that we're seeing.
So you said 450 people. You've got a lot of things, golf, education, incentives, all sorts of things.
Yep.
So that means you've got to be proactive.
Right.
So how do you do it all?
Okay. So again, some of this stuff too, I share, a lot of people know these things, but I think the piece that a lot of people may not know, and especially, some of our hotel friends who need to know what the, event planners, third parties are doing behind the scenes. We really are trying to make that bridge between being the the focus and the voice of our clients, but also knowing, hey, hotel friends, we are just as committed to you guys as well, right? So that's why we're proactive. You know, we have these checklists that we talk about all the time. As a matter of fact, my crazy brain at 1 a.m. last night went online and started ordering. I ordered 5 different organization tools to keep me, I thought I had one handy here, to keep my checklists in check, right?
I love that.
So I'll share those with you. And so being proactive, you know, it's my big deal. It's the word that we live by, and having a checklist. And we started, you know, this whole process about 1.5 years ago. And we did a lot of the pre-work to allow right now to be the calm before the storm, right? So this is our time to go, okay, we've got everything. We've got our menus planned. We've got our seating charts. As a matter of fact, we asked Gracie in our office today, our awesome intern, to put together this puzzle. I called it a Rubik's Cube because we're trying to do a seating chart, not based on people, but based on the organizations attending.
Okay.
And you have some that are 40 people that we need to get together, but then you have another group that's 4, and how does that all work, and getting the best seats and so forth. But that's something that we do ahead of time. The other thing we do ahead of time in being proactive, weather. So we looked at the weather and we're like, okay, it's going to be raining, which sucks,
Sadly.
right? I mean, come on, Hawaii. It'll be 80, but it'll be raining.
What?
So a couple of things with that, you know, the humidity is going to be pretty robust. So we'll have different, I know this sounds weird, just different brushes and combs for the ladies if they want, so you don't have to run back to the room. But I also got rain ponchos. So
Okay,
if
that's
we're
smart.
out enjoying, because sometimes those squalls will come through and they'll be like, oh, maybe 15 minutes, but you don't want to leave. We've got too many fun things going on.
Yeah.
So we ordered the ponchos. Again, trying to think, if you're attending this event, what are you going to want? I'm going to want a brush, and I'm going to want a poncho and some umbrellas or something along that line. So
like that.
all of those things combined have set us up for success to kind of spend the next 48 hours just feeling those calls of, hey, I want to change this excursion, or hey, I want to bring my 2 kids to the opening reception, you know, those types of things. Does that make sense?
I like that. Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
Okay. All right. So the other thing that this sets us up to, that I want to also talk about is, you know, when we get on site, we do a pre-con. And again, all of our listeners usually know what a pre-con is. But one thing we do at these pre-cons, there's usually 20 to 30 people. We always take a gift from Seattle.
That's awesome.
And we show up and we make it more personal, and we give them a piece of our hometown, and it kind of sets us up for that relationship building.
I like that.
always make sure, and I'm sure a lot of people do this, but if you don't, I would suggest it. At the beginning of the pre-con, you are actually the one greeting everybody who's coming in, or you walk around the table and introduce yourself. Because oftentimes at a pre-con, you sit around this big hollow square and they're looking at you and you're like, hey, I am the, you know, meeting planner. But again, have we talked about the pins?
We did. I think you mentioned it a couple days ago.
Oh, I got to
But-
talk about the pins.
Yeah, tell me.
Okay. So when you are an event planner and you go into a pre-con, they give you a pin. And it basically, that pin, if you wear it around the hotel or the conference space, they know if you walk into a restaurant or the spa or the front desk or wherever, the staff will be like, oh my gosh, she has a pin. She's an event planner. I gotta give her the extra attention.
Okay, yeah.
I
get that.
purposely do not wear the pin because I think I don't want the pin, because I want you to treat all of our guests the same. And I want to be just like our guest, right? Our attendees. So I probably have about, I would say 150 pins in my drawer, just like I have the lanyard wall, the lanyard graveyard
yes.
that we have. Yeah. So I don't wear the pin, but it's one of those things that, again, it's really important that you are able to be a part of, you know, that person that
Okay, I
is
like that.
part of their team, the hotel team, as well as being the voice for the client.
So I want to ask,
Okay.
you have worn the pin before, correct?
I have worn the pin in my first year. I wore the pin.
Okay, and do you see a difference wearing the pin
Yeah.
versus not? Tell me.
Yeah, I do. Because when I walk in, they're like, oh, hey, what can I get you?
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
You are the meeting planner, and whatever that looks like, I get the extra attention. When I don't wear the pin, though, I still get the attention, but maybe not as much as I would have had with the pin, and I prefer it that way, right? Our meeting planners, though, our clients, when they're in the pre-con, I make sure they get the pin because they do this once, and I want them to have the full experience of every nicety that they could possibly have, right? So one thing I did get, and I will say this to our hotels that are listening, instead of a pin, I got this cup. And I think it was the Fairmont in Kona. And that cup, you could take that cup to any place in the hotel. And you could get, soda, you could get any type of coffee, you could get tea, you could get any tropical fruit punch the entire time you're there. And I thought that was pretty cool because it was useful. And then you could take that cup home. So that I would do all the time, right? I mean, now if they gave me a martini glass and I could just walk around and walk in and be like, can I have one of these? And cheers to the martini, by the way.
Cheers.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about those pins. I'm so glad we talked about it. So anyway, that's a little bit about the pre-con, the being proactive with checklists on our side, and making sure that you're thinking really about what could go wrong weather-wise, anything.
So negotiation must be a very big factor into all of this, right?
Yeah. Well, that starts at the contract too. So that's where we really get into it.
Yeah.
One of our contracts recently, I was able to negotiate a 5% rebate on every guest room that goes back to the final invoice for our client. And so that's probably about a 50 to 60,000, I would say, cost savings for them. So then that way we were able to put that into more experiences. So negotiation and contracts and so forth, I think should be on our next, not the next episode because we'll have a special guest on the next episode. But to any of our listeners, if there are questions that you have of how we negotiate, what we negotiate, and some things that are trending, and maybe you have some ideas for us, will you please send them to either Stacy at Ideas NW, that's STACY, or
best way.
What are the other ways?
You can follow and contact us through TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and we'll get right back to you.
Yeah, because I feel like, again, we talk about things, but we would also like to share some of your, best practices or fun things that you guys do out there. So yeah, we'll have to talk about that negotiation coming up too. What else?
So let's talk about composure, keeping composure, right?
Okay.
Let's talk about the small things that kind of come up.
Okay. My goal in life, Aiden,
Yes.
is not at all to have my MICC moments, my martinis in a coat closet moment. My goal
Absolutely
in life.
mind-blowing.
I don't want to go.
I get it though. I do.
I know. What was I watching? Oh, I got stuck on Clarkson Farms. And if anybody wants a really good show to watch, you know how oftentimes people are like, what should I watch? Watch Clarkson Farms. It is one of the best shows. But anyway, it's about this guy. I don't know his background. My family does. But he was in race car, okay? And he's also like a TV personality in Britain. But he decided that he wanted to start a farm. Well, he does all of these things all the time. And he started a farm and now he's opening a restaurant. And the opening of the restaurant, I swear I was having my own PTSD, like picking the china, picking the tables, picking the decor, picking the menu, and everything was piling up on him. And you know what he did? He went into his office and he hid. And he goes, I'm just going to sit here. And I'm like, oh my God.
That is just like a martini in a coat closet moment.
And you know what? If he knew MICC existed, he would probably be like, I got to be on that show, or I got to fly those two over here to Chattington, and we need to have an MICC. Because I saw him and I related. I was like, oh, dude's holding up. He is holed up in his office. So,
wow.
But we always try to strive not to have to do that. So composure. One thing, Caitlin, who is with us, she's taken on another job. So she's moving on to bigger and better things in life. But one of the things that she said she did learn is just to breathe and take a moment. And she said that she learned that from us because it's really easy to react quickly, but it's also really easy to know that something is coming at you. And if you just take a deep breath before you respond and you kind of think through it, then that's better than, having the reaction and then having the reaction that now is going to make somebody else have even a worse reaction.
I'll build off of that. I think if anything, the time that I've had here, and I think the one thing that I've learned from you, and the most important thing, is being proactive. Okay. Not only taking a breath, taking a break when you need it, but then communication is key.
Good.
It is key.
Okay, Aiden.
And just when you feel like you're in a hard time, make sure you communicate, take a deep breath, and make a list. Yeah. Those are the 3 important things.
And get your stuff done. Didn't you and I have this conversation yesterday? I got to tell our listeners, I was cleaning the toilets. And Aiden goes, and it was funny because I said, we should probably have somebody come in here and do this for us. But I'm like, in the trenches. Yeah. Aiden goes, I'll clean the toilets. And I started laughing. I go, what? And you said, well, you clean your toilets at your house.
Yes.
So that's, that's a good trait to have too. Like you are helpful and you jump in where you need to. I think that's a big deal in the event world too. Wherever you see it, you got to do it. Even if it's seeing something on the ground or a really cruddy linen, and then being proactive to walk around and catch that. And then also communicating it to somebody. And for you, just again, being willing to, participate wherever.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And I think if everybody did that, just be a much better world. But what happens oftentimes is I love to say that we keep our composure, right? Mm-hmm. But a lot of times when I get on site, I then will keep my composure on the outside, right? But on the inside, I'm, a little bit, I don't know, schizo. I'm not really sure what the word is. But more importantly, I end up skipping my meals. I don't drink enough water. For our meeting planner friends out there, I know you're relating to this right now and shaking your head, yes. So hence, that's why we want the vitamin B shots. There you go. But it's also going forward, we're just in this crazy world all around us that I just went and picked up a bunch of electrolytes that I'm taking with us. And I picked up these really cool fans that I'm taking with us, to keep us cool.
Awesome.
Although it's raining.
I love that.
So again, trying to find those little things that we can give as gifts, not only to the attendees who will get everything while they're there, but this is just for our staff, our internal staff. They get a little gift, right?
Yeah.
So small things.
And something personal I've been doing. So I don't usually eat in the morning. I don't usually take vitamins or creatine or electrolytes, but I'm getting on track and I'm doing that now, right?
Okay.
So I'll have a little shot glass of vitamins that I prepare.
Yeah.
The morning prior.
Yeah.
And then
shot. Yeah.
And then I take creatine, 2 scoops of creatine and 1 scoop of electrolytes. It doesn't taste great, but
does it?
Where
do you put that in water?
Yes, and then I usually add a little bit of Mio flavoring. So
I've heard that the creatine is really good for your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's
it's also good for muscle recovery.
Yeah.
For the brain, it's memory, cognition, and mental capacity.
Yeah, for sure. Courtney on our team. So going on this trip, we have Lissa, Courtney, Linda, and myself. And I think I've shared this with the listeners before. Courtney is our wellness person. She'll get up in the morning before everybody else is up and she'll go for a run. Where I'm like, I think I'm going to need my beauty sleep. So I'm not going to go on this run, and I'm going to get really mad at my tennis shoes that are in the closet I know I should use. But she really focuses on that. That helps her just kind of deal with the day, right? And I think if we all followed suit, that would be incredible. One thing that we are doing that I want to share with our listeners too, in Hawaii, one of the best things is, just just their way of life, you know, how they feel connected to family, how they feel connected to the islands, their, you know, culture and so forth. But every morning we're starting out with this really incredible, it's like a spiritual walk into the water with kava.
What's kava?
Yeah, it's a root. It's a plant root. And so, but it gives you this calming effect. I was going to see if I had the, I was going to look and see if I could pull up the agenda because I just want to share what this is called. One moment, please. Yes, Ala E Sunrise Experience. So 5:45 to 6:45, everybody can sign up to meet at the Seaside Chapel. And if you've been to the Grand Wailea, the Seaside Chapel is beautiful. Like, I can't describe it, but if anybody wants to look it up and kind of visualize with us right now, you should. And remember, I say this all the time, one of my favorite movies, Just Go With It, was filmed here. And anyway, at 5:45 in the morning, the group's going to meet there, and they're going to walk out to the water with this really incredible spiritual leader. And they're going to do kava tasting and just watch the sunrise.
That's awesome.
And I think that kind of sets the day up really well. Like I'm going to have a great day. I mean,
yeah, there you go.
What, you know, it doesn't matter if it rains, doesn't matter if I get the end of the coffee before they bring the new one in, or if I put grated cheese on my oatmeal, then I thought it was, you know, sugar. I mean, whatever it might be, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah. So there you go. So one thing I want to talk about too is we were so excited that Mara interacted with us. We need and want more of that. So
Yes.
Mara's going to get a gift. She doesn't know that yet, but because she sent that in, she's getting one of our fabulous gifts. And what do you think we should send her? Should we send her our cool new martini hydros?
Hydros? Are they called hydros?
Yes. Or should we send her a hat?
I think we should send her a hat and a hydro.
What?
Yeah.
2?
Yeah.
Okay, Mara's getting 2
I think
because
so.
why? Because she was she
was
interacted.
the first one,
Okay.
and she interacted.
Yeah. I'm telling
All
you,
good
for
energy.
listeners out
All good
there,
energy.
you want some swag, this is the way to go. And then we're going to also, like I said, we're going to have a special guest on our next episode. And again, anything that you heard, that just a little bit of a tidbit that you thought, oh my gosh, I got to do that. Thank you for that. Let us know. And if you want to, have us feature anything from you. And if Jeremy Clarkson is listening, I saw him have his MIC moment. And if he wants to jump in and contact us and let us know that, he relates with us too, that would be lovely, Jeremy.
That would be lovely, Jeremy.
This is Stacy Ringer and
Aiden Sawicki.
And you've been listening to Martinis in a Coat Closet, recorded in the Ideas Northwest studios. Cheers to ideas and martinis.